Hi everyone and welcome back to the Crafty Yellow Camper, and today I have a card for you that has absolutely no stamping at all on it, but uses these gorgeous papers from the Delightful Wishes suite. It can have stamping if you want, I've just chosen not to. So these papers that I've shown you in a previous video, but we will just quickly run through them again. So they are double-sided, they're 12 by 12, so a really good quality weight to them. So we have got this one with these sort of little spring blossoms, and on the back of that we have got some of this lovely brown hessian. We've got this one, these lovely florals on the other side, and in case you're wondering why these obviously aren't 12 by 12, you'll see in a minute. I'll cut some down. We've got this one. These are almost like chrysanthemums or dahlias. And on the back of that, we've got this yellow gingham. We've got this one, which is sort of like the spring blossom. And on the back of that, we've got these diagonal stripes and dots. And then we've got this one. It's got the big sort of blousy flowers on again, and these little sort of almost like pollen bits. And on the back of that we have got some really nice green, almost sort of hessian feel, and then that's what we've got this one. Oh, you've seen that one already with the brown hessian on the back. You've seen that one already with the gingham on the back, and you've seen that one already. And then we've got this one, which is this lovely sort of almost blossom again. And on the back of that, this really nice little sort of like a propeller print, really. Okay, so those are the lovely papers. Let's just slide those back in the pack so I don't do any damage. And the eagle-eyed amongst you will have noticed that some of these sheets are not 12 by 12, and that's because I've cut them down to make our card. So what do you do if you can't decide which sheet of paper to use on the front of your card? You use 5. So that is the trouble. Sometimes there's almost too much choice. So let me bring the card in to show you. And this is the card we're going to make today. Very nice, simple, easy to put together card. Again, great for making in multiples if you wanted to do that. They can have a greeting on the front if you wanted to. I just wanted to showcase the gorgeous papers. So let me grab the bits and pieces that I've got ready. So this has 5 strips on the front here, and I'm going to make an apology for mixing my dimensions, but I'm sure you'll understand why when you see why. So this is why some of mine were cut down. So I've got a C6 base in Daffodil Delight. So that's half of an A4 sheet if you're in the UK or anywhere else that uses A4. Half of a letter size sheet will work just as well. You might just need to adapt your dimensions for your matte layer and your strips. Okay, so we're using it in the landscape orientation. And then I've cut a matte layer from Old Olive, and this is cut at 10 by 14.3 centimetres. So far we're in centimetres, and then we do a little bit of swapping around. To make this work, the strips are 9.5 centimetres in length, because that is what I would normally do for a third layer over this 10 by 14.3. But dividing down 13.8 across the width here of the card makes my brain hurt. But this measures just over 5 inches. I think it's 5 and oh no, that's centimeters. That wasn't 13.8, sorry. It's 5 and a half and an eighth, whatever that is. I'm not very good in inches anymore. So basically what I've done is I've swapped to inches, and I have cut my cardstock into inch strips. So I cut off the 12 by 12 sheets, I cut off a piece that was 9.5 centimetres deep, and then I've cut across those pieces at 1 inch. So all we need to do now is decide which order we want them in. So I'm going to go for a floral at that end. And then I'll go for a Hessian. This is slightly different to the previous card I did because I'm also prepping for a card class tomorrow. I've got 7 ladies coming, so for those of you who are any good at maths, 7 times 5 is 45. So I needed 45 strips. So by cutting 4 sheets of cardstock, 4 sheets of design series paper, and then cutting them into inch increments, that actually gave me 48 pieces, which is more than I need. Okay, so that's what we're going to do, I think. Yeah, we'll go for that one there. So I could have 2 pieces of the brown Hessian in my card and do it like that, or what have we got? I want that one. I want a Hessian there. I want a floral there, and I want a different one there. So I think we'll go for that one there and that one there, and then we've got 5 different sides showing, because obviously cutting 4 sheets down gives me 8 different patterns. Hope that makes sense. Right, now I found the easiest way to do this is to start from the insides out. So I am going to be careful with the glue near the edge because we don't want it to come squelching out the top. Ask me how I know. So we're going to put our first strip on this end here. And we want to make sure we've sort of got equidistant borders. And then what I'm going to do, we know these 3 are going in the middle, but then, oh goodness me, then what I'm going to do is switch to this end and do this end next. So again, you don't want too much glue near the edges, and if you do get a big splodge like I've just done, just sort of drag it down. Okay, and that piece is going to go on this end here. Again, make sure the borders match. Sometimes there's a bit too much wiggle room and it skids, so just be careful. And then I'm going to do the next one in from each end. So we're going to do this one next. I just find it's easier to space it out if you work from the outside in rather than working from left to right, because it makes it easier to get your gaps. Right, and then we're going to do this one here. Okay, and again, trying to make sure that it's lined up top and bottom, and that the distance between the sections is the same. I was crafting an old pair of joggers so I can wipe the glue off down my leg. They're absolutely trashed, but they do the job. Okay. I am a mucky gluer. Okay. Oops, a daisy. Like that. Okay. And then that one should fit in there with the gaps. Correct. And then I can press all the edges down. Okay, I'm just going to grab a baby wipe, excuse me, because I've just dropped a piece of glued DSP on there, and I don't want to stick my card to the worktop. Okay, give my fingers a wipe as well. Right, then what we're going to do is we're going to put some dimensionals on the back because I want it slightly raised up. So we're going to go 1 on each corner. And then I want to add a piece of this lovely Daffodil Delight ribbon that goes with the suite. So what I'm going to do for that is use some tear and tape. I always used to use snail when we had snail, and then we went on to the other rolly things, and I don't know what it is. I never have very much luck with anything that needs a refill. Seal and Seal Plus, and I always end up with this. and it doesn't matter what I do. It's really annoying because that's got half a roll, probably more than half a roll of seal on there, and it's pulled back out on itself, and try what I might, I cannot get it to feed back in. I think what I'm going to have to do is take the refill out, cut it off, and then see if I can start it off again on the end it rolls up to. Okay, so would actually help if I had the ribbon, wouldn't it? Here it is. So it's nice thin ribbon, which is, I'm just having a look to see if I can tell you how, oh, 1/8 of an inch wide. It's nice thin ribbon, which makes it nice for doing bows. And I'm just going to go across. Obviously, you want to try and get it level. Is that level? Not quite. I never cut it off until I know that I've got it where I want it. That's better. I'm bringing my ribbon scissors. I always keep one pair that's just for ribbon. Okay, and then we're going to just squidge in the middles of those dimensional backs to make them a bit easier to get them off. And hope they don't all stick to my fingers. Got my trusty little individual afternoon tea jam pot on my desk, where I flick all of the, there you go, flick all of the dimensional backs. I mean, they don't all make it in there, but more make it in there than on the floor, which makes my life easier. Okay, now I want the ribbon slightly towards the bottom, so I've just turned that over. And we're going to layer that up onto our card like that. And then I'm just going to tie a small bow. So we're going to do the bunny ears technique. So we have 2 loops and we tie them in a knot, which always works fine when I'm not filming. There we are. And then if you don't cut your ribbon off while you do your bunny ears and tie them in a knot and twiddle with it and get it how you want it, then you're not wasting as much ribbon. I hate it when I see people literally cutting a huge chunk off. They tie their bow and then they faff about with the tails and the bow, which is fine. And then they cut another big chunk off and put it in the bin. So wasteful. Okay, and then we're just gonna stick that on with a glue dot. What have I done with the glue dots? They're here. I really could do with a bigger desk to craft from. My desk is not big enough. And I have to keep dropping things on the floor. Okay, so there's our glue dot. There. I'm just going to pop that bow onto the glue dot, roll it off the paper, and then that's going to go there on our ribbon. Now, you can see a little bit of the glue dot sticking out at the back. So I'm just going to use my take your pick tool to tuck that under. That's the great thing about glue dots, is that you can sort of mould them to the shape that you want them. Push the ribbon up doing that. There we go. There. Okay, so let me bring that other one back in. So here are our 2 cards with the different strips, and you can put a greeting on the front. I'm not going to on these because I don't know what these are going to be used for yet. But in the stamp set, we've got all these other lovely sentiments. So we've got the wishing, which I've used in a previous video. And then we've got you were here, all the best, you a happy birthday, lots of love, and wishing you well. So you could very easily die cut a wishing and pop it along there or up here. You could do a wishing along here and one of these sentiments down the bottom, or you could just leave it as it is and then stamp your sentiment on the inside. There. So a nice quick card, and easy to put together once you've done the cutting. I hope you'll give it a go. You don't have to use these papers if you've got some other papers that you really like. And this is also great for using up scraps because these sections are literally 9.5 centimetres long and 1 inch wide. So please pardon me for mixing up my measurements, but that made sense to my left-handed brain. Okay, I hope you like the card. I hope you'll give it a try with some papers that you've already got. and I will be back soon with another card. Thanks for watching and happy stamping.